Hey, you guys, my name is Jody Watkins. I am the founder of To Be Epic Fitness and Nutrition, LLC. I'm also the founder of Lady J Consulting and J Marie Realty, LLC. All of this is housed within Convene Communities. Today, I'm going to give you a little bit of tips about how I published, some of the things that I encountered along the way, and just tips to help either maybe if you're writing your first book or you've already written books and you had to learn some hard lessons like I did. So these are going to be some tips to just help you along the way. All right. So the first thing before you get started with the book is you want to make sure you set clear goals. When I wrote Reclaim Your Life, all I knew is that I wanted to help people. I knew I had a certain system for that, and that's the system that I used to write the book. So I outlined first. And that's what I always encourage people to do before you do anything else. You want to create a good outline, a working outline. This doesn't have to be concrete, but it gives you a place to sort your ideas. So that's where I started. And that's where I would encourage others to start. Start with the outline. All right. Once you have your outline in place, then I always say make sure you have a good routine. What's the best time of the day? I'm also a health coach. I also am a personal trainer, a nutrition coach. And so these are also things that I tell people when they're first starting their health journey. What is the best time of day that works for you? For instance, when I'm trying to get people in the gym, what is the best time of day that works for you to go into the gym? Maybe you're like me and it's first thing in the morning. That could be with writing as well. So literally everything that I've ever used in my health coaching program, I just used in different areas of life, whether it's finances, business coaching, writing a book, any of those things. It's still the best practices, okay? So you have to establish your routine. This is keeping the commitment to yourself. What are you going to commit to every single day? Is it 10 minutes? Is it 15 minutes? Make it realistic. Look at your current schedule and understand that this is going to be something extra that you're going to be implementing into your life. Writing a book is not an easy feat, but it can be easier if we have a good routine. So I want you to start there. Establish your routine, okay? Celebrate milestones. When you finish a chapter, celebrate, okay? It doesn't have to be edited. It doesn't have to be completely ready to go. But at the end of the day, you accomplished something. Celebrate that win. That is one thing that a lot of us don't do enough of. We don't celebrate the wins. So we're constantly feeling defeated because we're not celebrating those small milestones that keep us encouraged and keep us motivated throughout the way, the entire time. All right. In order to get the first draft completion, I always tell people free write. Okay. You have your outline, you have your topics. Underneath those topics, I just want you to free write. If you're already a writer and you have a ton of blogs, you can do what I did and incorporate some of your blogs into your book. That's a great idea. Okay. But you just want to free write. You don't want to make it stressful. If you've ever heard of analysis paralysis, if you're overthinking, you're not going to get it done. Okay. And that goes with anything in life, right? So don't do that. Don't overanalyze. Don't try to figure out how other people are going to read it. Don't even worry about editing anything. You're literally just free writing. You're brainstorming. There's a reason you wrote this book. There's a reason you wanted to get whatever it was out there. Think about that and start the process. So when you establish your routine and you say, okay, I'm going to write for 10 minutes a day, use that 10 minutes not to edit, not to overthink, not to stress. Use that 10 minutes to write. If you start writing under one topic and you decide to move on to another topic, that's okay too. I have an ADHD brain. I'm all over the place most of the time. I have to put a lot of effort into not being all over the place. So I tell people, I'm like, don't cripple yourself. If that's how your brain operates, allow it to operate and thrive that way. Okay. There will be plenty of time later to go in and fix it. But for right now, just get it out there. Okay. Definitely take breaks. I always tell people productivity comes from taking brain breaks. All right. I incorporated this during COVID when the kids were out of school, and we would actually have it written down. This is when you're going to be doing your schoolwork. This is when you're taking a brain break. And we would do it every 45 minutes or so. We would take about 10-minute brain break. And then of course we'd have lunch, and then we'd go back. I have a blog about this and I can share that with you if you like. I'll put the link inside the description here on the video. Productivity is not busy. Busy leads to overwhelm. Productivity leads to overall success and fulfillment. Okay. So focus on being productive, take your breaks. If you have prayer time, utilize that time to get in prayer. Maybe you go outside, go for a walk if it's nice outside, whatever that looks like for you. Just get away from what you're doing. Get away from your computer and get away from whatever you're doing and go take a 5-minute break. Okay. Incorporate some healthy snacks also. You want to make sure you're feeding your brain. Okay. Definitely seek feedback from trusted individuals. Now, I say trusted because, as we know, not everyone can be trusted. Okay. This is your baby. So you don't want to give it to somebody that might take it and run with it. And unfortunately, that is something that we encounter. So we have to be careful who we're sharing this with. It could just be sharing ideas. Maybe you have trusted mentors or other people around you who you can say, hey, I have this idea. What do you think about it? Maybe ask like, of all the things that I ever talk about, like this was me, of all the things that I ever talk about, what stood out to you the most? And I was getting that feedback from people. So they helped me write my book. All right. Now, when it comes to editing, this is the part you will figure out what works for you, but I'm going to just share my journey. I'm an editor. I have no problem editing other people's stuff. Okay. But when it came to editing mine, it was a whole lot more difficult. I started rewriting things. That's when I started overanalyzing. So what I chose to do is hire someone that I knew and trusted to do the editing for me. It was an expense that I had not planned for, but I promise you, it helped me tremendously. It took away all the anxiety I had about, is this book going to be good enough? Blah, 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 whatever, right? And it kept me from rewriting it all. I am my own worst critic. And most of the people that I work with in all areas of life, whether it's this, health, business, doesn't matter what it is, we all are our own worst critic. So sometimes it's great to have that person or a couple of people that you can really trust, incorporate them into your lives, into your projects, and collaborate, ask questions, seek feedback, and have them look at what you have in place. When I write a business plan, I have someone that I send it to just see what they think. Did I miss something? Is there something I could have done better? That's all we're doing when we ask someone to edit our manuscript. We're just asking them to look at it, have another set of eyes. I might miss stuff. It might sound great to me, but when I have another set of eyes on it, they might see things that I didn't see. So that's what I did. My book actually went through 3 editing phases. Okay. I sent it to someone, paid for that service, and then she sent it back. Of course, we were working together, so I would go back through it, make sure it sounded, legible, readable, all those things. And then when I went through the publishing company that I used, which is a whole nother story in itself, they had it go through an editing process as well. And then of course it came back to me again and I went back through it. I just learned that I should not be the one who does all the edits. Is it good to go through the first time and to see if you can catch anything? Yes, of course. But I started rewriting things and that just was not good for me. It would have taken forever to finish the book. And at the end of the day, I always say perfectly imperfect. Your book is not necessarily seeking perfection. It is seeking to help people with whatever you're sharing. Okay. So allow that to be the main focus. We've talked about professional editing. You can go that route. I do encourage it. If you would like me to edit your manuscript for you, we can talk about that. But just make sure you have another set of eyes on it, whether it's an editor or just someone that you know and trust, okay? You can enlist beta readers. This is something I did not do, but I think that I will in the future. You can enlist beta readers. And what that does is it allows other people, excuse me, to look at your manuscript and, see how it hit them. What is the feedback that you receive from them? Also, this allows you to get someone to write your forward, and maybe if you have any input from other people that you've known for a long time, they can actually write that part of the book into the front. And so that way, when people purchase your book, if they're like me, I read everything. And so when people purchase the book, they can actually go in and see what other people think about you and how you've impacted their lives already. Just a thought. All right. I do encourage you to go through multiple rounds of editing. Like I said, I went through 3 rounds, different people. And actually, if you consider mine, it was really 4 rounds. But there was still things that weren't caught, but that was because the publishing company didn't quite do their job. Like I said, a whole nother story, and I will not be using that publishing company again. But that was because they didn't do their part as well as I thought they would. All right. This was my first time writing a book, so there was a lot of things that I learned the hard way. So that's why now I share with people like you, so that way you don't have to learn that way. All right. Read your manuscript aloud. This is something else that I did not do until later when I started making my course, but you can actually read it aloud. This is great for making an audiobook later too. So I would encourage you to time block and read your manuscript out loud in segments that you can use for an audiobook as well. I had so many people ask me for an audiobook, and I will be making sure to add that later on. So just a little piece of advice. Once it's time to get published, it is super important to do your research. Unfortunately, there are a lot of vultures out there. There are a lot of people that we cannot trust. Like I said, I learned some hard lessons with the publishing company that I used, and there's reasons I will not use them again. However, over the last few years, I've built a relationship with a good friend and now business partner. Her name is Brenda Warren, and she teaches people how to self-publish on Amazon. She also teaches them how to become bestsellers on Amazon. So if that's a route you would like to take, please reach out to me and I will give you that information to contact her and let her be the person who helps you with the rest of the process. When I do the ghostwriting, I do encourage other people to work with her just because she is someone I know and I know that I can trust. There's too many publishing companies out there that I just don't know which one I can trust anymore because I have had so many, even after publishing my book, I've had other companies reach out to me and, take advantage of my kindness, to put it in simple terms. So I do encourage you to go by word of mouth only, referrals only. Don't just work with anybody, okay? You have a good relationship with someone, work with that person, let them kind of gear you towards something else. That's one thing Brenda and I have talked about. If I did want to work with another publishing company, she will help me vet them. So now it's not just me trying to figure it out on my own. Okay, so there are resources out there. There are people out there who want to see you succeed. And I'm grateful to have those people in my life. I always say my family is your family. So if you'd like to be connected with anyone that I know who can help you reach your goals, let me know and I will be sure to do that. All right. Talked a little bit about self-publishing. That is something that Brenda can help you with as well. It's something that I'm learning, so that's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is the accountability part. I make sure you get your stuff done, okay? Whatever happens after that is going to be, I will help you find the right person and help you vet, but that's just not my area of expertise. I'm learning as well, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. All right, you definitely want to brand yourself if you have not done that already. Some people have platforms just for their book. What I've learned is you don't necessarily have to do that, but you do want to have your own personal brand That way, as you continue to write books, you can make sure to add those books as part of your marketing, and you already have that brand in place. If you do not already have a personal brand, I would encourage you to create an author page. If you plan on making more manuscripts in the future, make sure it's general enough, not just for that one book, but general enough for other books to follow. Okay? You do want to have a marketing plan. This is something else that I did not have, and that's what we're going to be working on as I do my rebrand for Reclaim Your Life. I will have a marketing plan in place. All right? Persistence. Look, you're going to get rejected on some things. COVID hit right after I got my book published, and so all of my book signings, everything went away. Not everybody is going to accept you right away, but that's why it's important to build the relationships in the first place, because those are the people who are going to support you the most. Those are the people that supported me the most, and they still support me to this day. So build the relationships up front, and don't be hesitant to ask for help. Okay. People want to help you. They just need to know you need it. All right. So be persistent and understand that rejections are going to come along with it. My book got rejected from the public library because I had places in there for people to work out of. So there's blank spaces for people to write in. And then I had worksheets in the back, and that was one thing that they did not want. That's okay. That just means it's not meant for that. But I am going to work towards getting it into the school systems and having it as a resource and a tool for others along the way. Some places are going to go with that and some places aren't. So just be mentally prepared that you're going to get rejected in some areas, but be persistent and don't quit. Okay. Because somebody out there needs to hear what you got to say. I promise you. Just remember, the publishing journey is unique for each author. My experiences may or may not be similar to your experiences, but what I feel like I'm meant to do is share my experiences to help people like you. Okay. So if there's anything else that I can do for you, make sure you reach out, subscribe to the channel, join the Jody Watkins community, and ask your questions inside the discussion board in there as well. Because most likely, if you have the question, someone else does too. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Can't wait to hear your feedback. I hope you have a blessed day.